What's going on, horror fans? Scream Fanatic here. And in this video, I wanted to talk about something in relations to Scream 5 and about the hospital scene where Dewey was killed. And of course, in that scene, there is a lot of speculations that it was not Amber Freeman who killed Dewey, even though she claims she did. There's a lot of people who question because of the height of the ghost face, the strength of the ghost face, the way Dewey was gutted. It was almost in Stu Macher fashion, which made a lot of people think it was Stu because of, the whole Stu is alive theories, and also the way Stu described back in 1996 how he would gut someone, that he would take the knife, slit them from groin to sternum. That is exactly how Dewey was killed. Now, of course, Amber worships Stu, so it's possible she was copying or following his instructions, but Stu said it takes a man to do something like that, and honestly, I believe him, and I am one of the many people who believe that Stu killed Dewey, that he was involved in some way, shape, or form in Scream 5 and 6, that he was the mastermind behind the last two movies, and that he's being built up throughout this new trilogy, like how Thanos was built up through the MCU, like he was teased in every Avengers movie, and then we didn't see him fully revealed until, Infinity War Endgame. That's the direction I think the Scream franchise is headed in, right? But that begs the question. If Stu is alive and if Stu killed Dewey, what was Stu Macher doing in the hospital? And I can actually answer this question, okay? I thought about this and I have a pretty good idea of what he was doing in the hospital. Because he was there, he was attacking Tara, but Tara was not the end game target. So why go after her? What was he doing there? Why not just let Amber go to the hospital and finish the job? Well, think about it like this. Stu Macher had unfinished business with some enemies of the past, Sidney, Gale, and Dewey. And in Scream 7, of course, he's going after Sidney. But in Scream 5, I think he had a goal to complete his kill that he failed 26 years earlier. Because I think between 96 and 2022, that's like a 26-year gap, right? I think it is, if my math is correct. So not being able to kill Dewey, failing to kill him does not sit right with Stu being a very prideful person. So I think in Scream 5, he was targeting Dewey. And I think he was in the hospital as bait. Okay, I think the hospital was a trap for Dewey, and I think he was counting on Dewey showing up to the hospital. Now, let me tell you what went behind this, okay? So I think Stu has been keeping tabs on everyone, of all, his old foes from the late 90s and some of these new characters. I think Stu has been keeping tabs on everyone as the cult leader, and he knows where everyone's going to be at what time as he's plotting and scheming. And remember that scene where Richie and Sam went to go visit Dewey Riley in his house. I think it was somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. I haven't watched Scream 5 in a full year, so I got to go back and watch it. I think it was Sam's idea to go back and find Dewey and get his wisdom, and Richie was kind of reluctant. But Richie is doing the typical ghost face misdirection. I think Richie wanted to go visit Dewey, wanted to get info out of him. And I actually think that Stu, as the cult leader, he put Richie Kirsch up to this. I think he knew that Samantha Carpenter, after her sister was brutally attacked, I think he knew, okay, she's going to come to Woodsboro and she's going to confide in one of these past characters that Stu is familiar with. And I think he knew that one of the people she would go to is an old cop, a retired cop. Because Dewey is sort of like the protector type of character. And Stu knows that. Stu knows that Dewey has a savior complex, that he can't help himself even in retirement. I mean, literally, Dewey was forced to step down. He didn't do it willingly. So I think he knew that Sam would want to go to Dewey and get help. So I think Stu told Richie, be prepared. Sam is going to go to Dewey. I want you to go with Sam to go visit Dewey and bring him out of hiding. Bring him out of retirement. I think this was part of Stu's plan, is get Dewey out of his little hole, right? And then after the death of Judy Hicks, where, Dewey was at that house where she was dead, and, her son Wes, from there, I think Stu then made his plans to go to the hospital where Tara would be. But see, Tara wasn't the target. Now, I do think that if Sam and Dewey did not show up on time, I do definitely think that Tara was cooked. But I think if Stu really wanted Tara dead in that moment, if she was the main goal, Tara would have been dead in seconds. Like, she would have been gonzo, okay? But here's what I think went down in this situation. I think, do you notice, as the Ghostface killer is walking down Tara throughout the hallway, as she's crawling on the floor, while she's moving on her wheelchair, then she falls off the wheelchair, then she's crawling. Ghostface is slowly walking her down, and I think Richie gets called, and Stu picks up Richie's phone after knocking Richie out, but this is part of their plan. Richie expected to be attacked by his own, by his cult leader, and he was willing to die for the mission because, that's what these Ghostface killers do. There is no such thing as loyalty or protecting one another. They'll kill each other if it means making their plan work. Everyone is disposable to a Ghostface killer, even if it's a family member, right? But he picks up the phone, and he anticipated Sam would call. And as he's slowly walking down Tara, he's intentionally taking his time because he's stalling. He's giving Sam and Dewey enough time to show up on time, right? He knew Dewey would come with Sam. He knew Sam would go to Dewey and that Dewey would come with her wherever she goes, right? When it comes to confronting a Ghostface killer. So, because even on that phone call, when Sam's like, oh, maybe I'm just stalling for time. When Stu said, maybe you're not built for this franchise. I think that was actually in reverse. I think Stu was the one who was really stalling for time and waiting till both of them showed up so then he could kill Dewey. And then we saw how the whole scene played out. We saw Ghostface fight Dewey. He tries to stab him. Dewey defends himself and says, not today. And, shoots him in his bulletproof vest. And of course, all Ghostface do this. They always play possum to lull their victims into a false sense of security. And I think deep down, Stu, as the calculated mastermind that he is, I think he knew that Dewey would come back and try to finish the job and shoot him in the head. I think he was anticipating that because when, Dewey went to the elevator with Sam and Tara and Richie, I think he anticipated that Dewey was going to come back and try to finish the job. And right there, he was waiting for the right moment to pounce. Then he did. Then he gutted Dewey in typical Ghostface fashion. And I don't really need to explain everything as to why that's Stu. Well, I guess maybe I will. He says some suspicious things like, yes, today, and it's been an honor, sir. Which doesn't sound like something Amber would say. Like that it's been an honor sounds like reverence to someone that, I don't know, it just sounds like a past person saying this. Like, I respect your toughness. You're a soldier, but now I finally got you. But yeah, I don't know if this makes sense. But yeah, this is why I think Stu Macher, if he killed Dewey, this is why he was in the hospital. Because he had Dewey in mind. It had nothing to do with Tara. Tara would have just been a fallback kill if Dewey didn't show up, right? But in the end, Dewey was the main target. He was the main goal. And just to completely summarize and sum up what I'm saying, he anticipated Dewey's return, and he used Richie as a pawn to help Amber bring Dewey out of retirement so that he could bait him in and kill him. That's what I think. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree? Like and subscribe, and peace out.